Hey guys, it's nice to see you again in this tutorial series. This time we are again not coding an expert advisor, but also something very useful, and that is something like a trading terminal or dashboard. So many of you are manual trader, and if you struggle to analyze many different pairs at the same time, then I have good news for you today, because what we are going to write is basically a dashboard where we can see in one glance all the data we want to show from different pairs. For example, we have then all the different pairs, and next to the pairs we have the RSI value, the exponential moving average value, the volume value, and all stuff like that. This will help you then to analyze different pairs in one chart. And if they look interesting for you, then you can hop on the real chart to execute your trades. So let's get started. And then let's create an expert advisor, and let's call it terminal dashboard. Here we go. So the first thing we are going to do is to define our trading pairs and the indicators we want to show. Okay, for that, let's make a string. Let's call it pairs, and then we make those two brackets. That means that we are going to make an array. So what is an array? An array is basically a way how we can save in one variable different variables. So that means in this string pairs, we will then store different strings. I will show it to you. Give me a second. I will just write all the strings down. Okay. Here we go. GBP USD. USD JPY, Aussie dollar USD, and Euro GBP. So you can add here as many pairs as you want. Just for this example, we are going to do it with those 5. If you want to add one, you can just do that and then type it down. Amazing. So this is now an array. That means whenever we want to call one of those variables, we are doing something like that. Pairs, and then place 2. Okay, that's the pair at place 0, place 1, at place 2. Okay, if we type down pairs 2, we will get the value USD JPY. If we are doing 4, then we get this pair. If we're doing 0, we will get this one. Pretty easy. Amazing. Now let's make another string, another array. This time let's call it indicator names. Okay, here we go. In this example, we will go for the RSI and the exponential moving average 20. Amazing. Let's move on to the on init, and let's create the first header. Okay, here we go. Object create. Then chart ID is 0. Then we have to give this object a name, and we call it header pair. Amazing. And this will be a label, object label, and then subwindow 0, datetime, boom, 0. Here we go. Amazing. Then we have to define the distance, so the x and epsilon distance. We do that with object set integer, then again subwindow 0, then the header pair, and then the property ID, and that's now object property somewhere here, x distance. Amazing. And the x distance is then let's do 20. Amazing. Now let's copy this, paste it in again. Now epsilon distance, and there we go for 30. Then next thing is we have to set the text. That's object set text. The name is header pair. Just copy it. Boom. Then we have to define the text. The text will be pair. Next thing is the font size, then the font itself. Let's go for Arial. Color is white. Boom, that's it. Now let's click on compile, no error, and let's check what we have actually done. Okay, amazing. Okay, we will see pair, amazing. We want then here all the pairs, and here we want to have like the RSI, the exponential moving average, and so on. Amazing. So now we need to create a loop. And why? Because we don't want to write that down several times just for all the different pairs. We want that this is done in a loop. Okay, that means we will start with an iterator. We call it I. We start from 0, and then we have to type down array size from the pairs, and then we go like that. Okay. What we do here is now we will go get the value from array size 5 because we have 5 strings in this array. So that means we will go through the loop until we reach the value 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because 5 is then not smaller anymore. Okay, then let's define a string. This string is now, let's call it pair name. Here we go. It's label pair. And we add now pairs. Okay, great. So that's it. Now we defined a new label for every time we're going through the loop. Then we create again the object. Let's copy this, paste it in here. Okay. Amazing. Now instead of this name, we give it that name. Amazing. The x distance will stay 20, but here we have to go down each time we go into the loop. Therefore, we do it like that. Let's go down by 20. Okay. Amazing. So now this will print down our pair names. Let's test it out. Here we go. We made a mistake because here, instead of pairs, we want to show the actual pair. Here we go. Boom. Okay, you can see pair, and then Euro USD, GBP USD, and so on. Amazing. Now let's move on with the indicators, and we have to do that in this loop. And in this loop, we have to create now another loop because next to each pair, we want to display the values of the indicators. So let's paste in here another loop. Here we go. Okay, then let's go this time for J. Here we go, J. Then arrow size is not pairs, it's indicator names. J++. Okay, here we go. Then we call this one not pair name, we call it just name. That's great. Then we go here for, let's go for label, pairs, then plus, we add underscore, and then we add as well the indicator names of J. Amazing. Then name, and here we go. We type down just 0 because in the future we want to type down the real value of this variable, but we have to do that in the ontick. So for now we just go with 0. We need to move in the x direction, and let's go by 120 plus J times 100. Amazing. Let's see how it looks now. Okay, boom. Now we have enough space to type down here, for example, RSI, and here exponential moving average. Then let's do that. Therefore, we just need to copy one of those loops again. You see, coding is a lot of copy and paste. You don't need to type down everything again and again. This time we are going, you know what? Let's copy this one. This fits better because we need to go through the indicator names. But instead of adding the pairs this time, we just go with header instead of label because it's the header. But here we have to stay at the same epsilon value. And instead of this, we have to type down indicator names. Okay, let's see if this worked. Amazing. So we can see pair, RSI value, exponential moving average 20 value. Okay, amazing. And now in the future, you can just add different indicators or different pairs. Let's make an easy example. We add now here, for example, the volume. We click on compile. Then we can see it was added automatically because we did everything with loops. We did nothing static. Everything was built with loops. So if we add something, we'll add it automatically. And if we add a pair, then we will add here like the pair and all the values. But for this example, 2 or not. Okay, amazing. Now I just have to open a new chart because we don't delete the objects. Here we go. Let's drag it in again. Boom. Okay, amazing. Now let's move on with the actual logic and then it's already done. It's pretty simple. So let's write a method called update. Here we go. Now again, we have to create a loop. We can just copy the loop. We will go through all the pairs because we have to calculate for every pair the right value. Okay, amazing. Then let's close this loop first. Here we go, Control I to align everything. And okay, first we start with the RSI value. The RSI value is RSI from pairs I. Then time frame, let's go for the M15. Here we go. Then period is let's go for 14. Applied price is price close. Here we go, and shift is 0. Boom. Okay, we have the RSI value. Now let's define the name of the object we want to adjust, and that's in this case the name RSI, and then we go, I think we started with its label underscore, then we add the pair, and then we add RSI. Okay, amazing. Now we can just type down object. It was object set text. Here we go. Boom. Then we want to change it from for name RSI, and we want to give it the value double to string to make sure it's not too long. So we want maximum of 2 digits. Then we go with the value RSI and 2 digits after the comma. That's just fine. Boom. Okay, then let's trigger this in the on tick and see if it worked. Boom. It's working. Amazing. We can see it will adjust every tick. Perfect. Here we go. Then let's move on with the moving average. Double EMA 20 is IMA, and then pair is pairs at I. Then time frame is, let's go again for the M15. Boom. Then a period, let's go for 20. The shift is 0. The mode is exponential moving average. its price close and 0. Here we go. Boom. That's it. Now let's type down again the name of the label we want to adjust. That's name EMA equals, it was again label underscore plus pairs, and then it was underscore EMA20. Boom, here we go. And then let's set the object set text, and then let's go for the name exponential moving average, and we want to change it to the EMA20 value. Let's copy this. Boom. EMA20, here we go. Okay, now we can see it works, but it doesn't make any sense to display an exponential moving average like that. Therefore, we will make like a small adjustment. So let's define a string. Let's call it EMA position. We will give this string the value if it's up, if it's higher or smaller than the exponential moving average 20. Then we know if 20, if the exponential moving 20, for example, is determining the trend in our strategy, then we can see if it's currently lower than this exponential moving average or not. But that's totally up to you. I will just write the dashboard. You can then adjust it with as many indicators as you want and with as many different things you like. It's just to give you a brief overview how you can write a terminal like that. Then let's define something more, and that's the color. Make it easier to read. Boom. Now if I close of pairs, time frame not important because we are going for shift 0, so then we always are just getting the current price. Let's go for M15, makes no difference because shift is 0. And because the current candle don't has a close yet, therefore we can either call I close, or we can also call for bid. It's the exact same value. Okay, then if it's bigger than EMA20, then let's do something amazing. Okay, here we go. For EMA position will be up because the value is currently higher than the EMA20. The price is higher than the EMA20. Okay, amazing. And then let's define also the color. And the color in this case is green. Here we go. Then else. Here we go. Let's copy this. Here we go. Now it's down, and we're going for a color red. And then we will add that here. Font size was 9. Next thing was the font itself. It was Arial, and here we go for the color. Now it's color, and instead of double to string, we are going for EMA position. Here we go. Let's compile it. Boom. Let's go in here, and now we can see in one glance how the value of the RSI is in Euro USD, in GBP USD, USD JPY, if it's currently above the exponential moving average 20 or lower than the exponential moving average, and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy to write your own dashboard. And now, as I said, you just can add in the future other indicators, for example, other pairs. We can now add here just another pair. Let's go for USD cat, and I click on compile, and boom, it's added here. Let's wait for a second to make sure it's going into the on tick. boom, and now we can see we added another pair just with typing it down because we did everything in loops. And if we add here now volume, for example, then it's added here with 0, 0, 0 because we have to write in the update also an update for it. Okay, so that means in here we now just have to do the same thing again, go with double volume, calculate the volume and change the label, pairs, and then volume. That's it. Pretty easy and straightforward. With that, my friends, you can monitor your manual strategy a lot faster. Okay, that's it, my friends, from this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you like those videos, please consider to subscribe my channel, and I will see you in the next one.